first speaker today is Toastmaster Zack Morson. Today, Zack Morson will be giving his second speech. His pathway has instructed him to take feedback from this speech and incorporate it into the next. He encourages your constructive criticism. As many of you know, it's not always what you say, but everything else around the words that make a true impact. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Zack Morson with this speech entitled, If I Could Speak Anywhere.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
If I could speak anywhere, I would speak at the Lincoln Memorial. The audience would be lined up through the steps, and in the front rows would be those people who helped me get to where I am today. This venue certainly carries with it the pure power of the man who it was built after. The steps beyond it allow he who speaks to be heard around the world. We all know that Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous I Have a Dream speech here. Some other names that deserve recognition is the architect Henry Bacon, the designer Daniel Chester French, and the carvers of the statue, the Piccadilly brothers. Not to forget President Warren G. Harding, who spoke at the memorial's dedication in 1922. This location is very special to me. In a moment, I will give you a preview of the message that I would get from these steps. But first, let me tell you why I chose this setting. Out of our 45 presidents, Mr. Lincoln is by far my favorite. Speaking at this memorial is feel like how I can honor him the most. Last year, I was lucky enough to have him visit me in my dreams, where we spoke about the scripture of the Bible for quite some time. When I woke up, I was as happy as if I had met the man himself. Now for the day for me to speak at the Lincoln Memorial is finally here. The date is April 15th, 2020. After a year of Toastmasters training, I'm finally ready to give my first speech at the Lincoln Memorial titled Generational Parallels. The speech will go a little something like this. Millennials and Gen Xers, Boomers and Gen Z. We are here today to take a look at who we are as a people, as a world, and as a country. Why is there so much misunderstanding? Why? I have boiled this down to 3 reasons. Information, economics, and music. Let's go ahead and start with information. How we consume information, newspapers, and Twitter. So you won't exactly see me sitting at a coffee shop reading the newspaper, flipping pages, but you might see me whizzing by in an Uber, checking my Twitter, grabbing Starbucks to the drive-thru. Times are changing, but they're still the same. Information is given through newspapers, information is given through Twitter. It's really not that different. One may be given from a reporter, maybe be given directly from the source. It's not so different, it's still the same. Or maybe you're reading a magazine at the doctor's office while you're waiting, and there's a couple coffee stains on it, and you're taking a look at some of the pictures, that 3-month-old magazine. But why do that when you could flip open your phone, take a look at Instagram, and see Car and Driver's latest post from just 2 hours ago? Times are changing, but yet they're still the same. We're not even on the same page anymore sometimes in generations. Literally. We're not even in the same library. Some visit the library and others go to the e-library. They're all the same. You can get an e-book from the library. You can get an e-book from the e-library. Well, let's take a look at economics. Are we all so different? Older generations, the news is they haven't saved for retirement. Younger generations, they've taken on too much debt. Maybe we shouldn't have listened to our parents and go to college. The message is still the same, whether you're an older generation or a new generation. Americans just have poor financial management skills. Relying on Social Security, relying on 401ks, different generations have got burned in different ways. We should be relying on ourselves. And that's one of the great things that I learned here at Winter Park Toastmasters. learned at Winter Park Toastmasters when I joined last year. Let's move on to music, the third topic. Yes, in the 80s there was Michael Jackson. Today we have Bruno Mars. You could have gone and seen Michael Jackson on stage. You could go see Bruno Mars on stage. Both are electric. They have so much presence. Now you may have listened to one on an 8-track and one on Pandora. But is it really that different? It's all still the same. You turn on the radio, you listen to Michael Jackson. You're interrupted by a commercial. You're just getting into your groove at the party on Pandora. Next thing you know, a commercial comes on. The only difference is there's a little bit bigger data and the commercials are tailored a little bit more to you nowadays. There's really not that much difference. Times are changing. Things are still the same. All right. Let me stop there. I will never give that speech at the Lincoln Memorial. This speech isn't until 2020. I still have plenty of time to prepare. If I could speak anywhere, it would be at the Lincoln Memorial. Our surroundings and stage say a lot about us, as do our words. May we choose our environment, our peers, and our audience with care, for our actions often speak just as loud as our words. I'm honored to share a room with a man who reminded me why I love Abraham Lincoln so much. A man who throws vegetables at his audience, somebody who lays it all on the line during table topics, and also those who have taken me under their wing. Thank you, Toastmasters, for helping me master the spoken word. This organization speaks volumes for me already. Mr. Toastmaster.